Hello, I'm Gianna Gomes. I'm a veterinarian, a research scientist, an RTT therapist, and a certified compassion fatigue professional. I'm here to talk to you about caring, about the love and compassion we have towards animals. And I say we because I believe if you're watching this video, you're also someone who, like myself, who loves and cares for animals. And this caring, this love, and the compassion for animals is a gift. It is something special that some people carry. It is usually part of our nature, from who we are. And while this special trait brought us all together to care for animals, it can also sometimes become something we call compassion fatigue, which has also been known as secondary victimization, secondary traumatic stress disorder, vicarious traumatization, and secondary survival. In a simple way, it means that we can develop this kind of mental pain that presents as an emotional, physical exhaustion that causes us to reduce our capacity to empathize or feel compassion for animals or for other people. For this reason, some people also say that a better definition of this should be empathy fatigue. Sometimes compassion fatigue can get confused with burnout. While compassion fatigue presents some components of burnout, it's not exactly the same thing. Compassion fatigue manifests when components of burnout and secondary traumatic stress are present. This traumatic stress is called secondary because it is not you, the person, who's experienced the suffering or being traumatized. You develop this from listening, from hearing, from seeing others or animals going through some suffering. Secondary traumatic stress can sometimes present with symptoms that remind from post-traumatic stress disorders, as the person starts having difficulty sleeping, having nightmares, flashes of intrusive images, or thoughts that are difficult to go away. Burnout, on the other hand, refers more to the general exhaustion and lack of interest or motivation related to work. The person can develop feelings of hopelessness, feeling that the work he or she is doing has no meaning, and burnout can develop in any kind of profession, any kind of occupation, and is related to being sometimes overworked or due to a conflict between personal values and the organization the company goals or demands, or due to a feeling of having no control over the quality of the service and the job that's providing, for example. Or maybe an awareness of little emotional or financial reward for the work that the person is doing. Or even a sense of loss of community within the company and the place they work. Compassion fatigue, on the other hand, usually originates from dealing with victims of trauma, from animals or people that have been traumatized or are constantly being exposed to suffering. But it's not actually the care and compassion towards animals that makes this an issue and make this issue to manifest and to become a problem. In most cases, it is because we care so much for animals that we end up forgetting about ourselves, but about our own needs. We forget that the compassion we have towards animals has to start with us, towards ourselves. And that focusing on ourselves is not selfish, is not weakness, because you cannot give up from an empty cup. And compassion fatigue can manifest in so many ways. So it is important to have this open mind, to be willing to identify when some of the symptoms start to emerge and have a negative impact in our lives. Because if the signs that start showing up are not having negative impact in our lives, it's okay. But in most cases they do, and we are not always aware of this. In a more personal sense, compassion fatigue can show as a constant headaches, fatigue, anxiety, distress. Notice here that we are more irritable, noticing changing appetite, sleeping patterns, being more hypervigilant, lose our sense of purpose, decrease concentration, focus, be more isolated from friends and family. And at work, we may experience loss in motivation, be more forgetful, reduce compassion and empathy towards animals and other people, lose confidence, withdraw from colleagues, increasing conflict with colleagues, calling sick more often, and many others. But it's important to know that there are ways to deal with compassion fatigue, especially before the symptoms of this secondary traumatic stress and burnout turn into a real problem. And the first thing is to be aware of this issue and And it's part of the reality of the work we do. I believe that one of the important things we all have to do in this line of work of helping, saving, caring for animals is to change our perception about the things we experience, we see, we observe. It's not easy, but it's possible with awareness and practice. Because in reality are not the events that cause stress, but our interpretation and the way we perceive them that cause us to suffer. Implementing simple self-care routines on a daily basis can have a massive impact in people's lives. Thank you for my own journey, taking time to meditate, to exercise every day, take time to rest when I'm tired, having healthy meals, connect with family and friends are all things that we must incorporate in our lives. While some people might think that they do not have time for any of this, there are quick and simple things that can be done in your daily schedule to prevent compassion fatigue and build up your resilience. During working hours, sometimes you can feel the stress building up in your body, which is actually a natural response of our nervous system to a perceived threat. It is important to understand that there is nothing wrong with these reactions. They actually are present because our bodies are responding for survival to protect us. But when we notice this happening, for example, we can take a few deep breaths. And just by doing that, we are already introducing or instructing our body to relax and that everything will be okay. There is no threat. For me, I like to use this exercise that's based on neurolinguistics and self-regulation. So basically, as I feel my body getting anxious, stress building up, I tell myself, it is okay, I'm safe and protected, there is no danger here. And just by repeating this multiple times to myself quietly, I notice my heart rate going down, my breath is slowing, and I become calmer and focused again on the task in front of me. It sounds simple, but it's very effective, and you can start using this exercise on your own version of this today. Another practical thing you can use during working hours are these two other exercises based on the Hevening technique, which use touch to create delta waves in the brain and relax your body. These calming brain waves occur during our sleep and can help calm down anxious feelings. In the first one, you just rub your hand against each other slowly, as if you're washing your hands. It's a very calming exercise. The second one I actually practice a lot, helps me to reconnect with my body, to feel safe and protected. So I place the palms of my hands on my opposite shoulders and rub them up and down from my arms, from my shoulders to my elbows, multiple times. I believe that in this line of work that you all do, caring for any caring for animals need more people like you. I cannot imagine how it would be for animals if people who do not care for them are the ones taking care of them. Can you? For this reason, I decided to support and be on your side during your journey so you can continue to do the amazing work you do every day. So if you, your colleagues, or your company want more help, or you are interested in knowing how you can continue the important work you do for animals, minimize the suffering and uncomfortable feelings that you may experience, and build up resilience, talk to me. I'm here to help and empower you to remember why you started this job and why you and your work matter. Thank you very much.